I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into a heartwarming story of faith, family, and adventure with Olga Keber. She has written a wonderful book. It is called Pepes Adventure. This touching tale follows an 8-year-old boy named Pepe, who sets off on a solo camping adventure inspired by the lessons taught to him by his beloved G Papa. Along the way, Pepe's journey of faith and connection with nature leads to a mysterious encounter that changes everything. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below the interview. So good to see you here today on Spotlight, Olga. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Logan. It's a pleasure being here talking to you today.
Well, the pleasure's all mine. I loved your book. Is it inspired at all by real life events? It sounds like it might be.
Um, well, it's funny, a little funny, because I was very sick at one point, and I was in and out the hospital for about 2 months and bored to death. So, being in bed for so long and just looking at TV. One day I was looking at the television and I saw the news, and they were talking about some gang wars in Los Angeles and talking about other areas that was things that were going on, people not caring about other people. And I saw this little boy running back and forth with a bag, like putting food inside the bag and running. You're very fast. You have to be very fast to catch that. I saw that, and once the news had ended, I just sat back and I started thinking about that boy. And I started thinking about how we are so selfish at times, very selfish, uncaring about other people, especially the elderly and the children. Children are viewing this.
Mhm.
They don't have no reason of what's going on or why is this going on. And we don't show any concern or care for them. It's very sad,
Yeah.
very sad. So through this, I said, you know what? I'm going to write a little children's book.
Mm.
Uh, Never written a book in my life,
Mhm.
but it inspired me to write Pepes Adventure. I said Pepe because I am Hispanic,
Mm.
and I felt like I wanted to give something that us as adults can probably read to our children and maybe take in what this little boy has done that we would never do. We're very prejudiced, we're very selfish,
Mm.
and unfortunately, we sometimes walk around not caring about what we see on our areas. And it's sad. Yet this little boy stopped and was so curious of life. G Papa taught him so well. G Papa is his grandfather who died, and but he loves his family, and he's excellent in his education, and he just loves life. And so basically, this little boy was very curious and wanted to go hunting and
Mhm.
camping like his papa, G Papa, and Papa had taught him. They were a little hesitant to let him go, but they didn't stop him.
Right.
And he went camping right in front of the house.
Mhm.
And they watched him for a moment, but it was late and he started wandering. As he wandered, he went into this little cave. He saw this cave, And he was so curious, as any child would be,
Mhm.
to go inside and see what's in there. And he found the stranger.
Mhm.
He found a stranger whom he did not get frightened.
Mhm.
He started sharing things with this stranger, started talking to him, and yet no fear whatsoever, and befriended this man. The bottom line was that he found out that this man was very lonely.
Mhm.
He served in our country, yet
Mhm.
he has no home now. He had a family, yet he's alone now.
Mhm.
And Pepe felt he was there to help him.
Yeah.
So the story goes on and on. I don't want to share too much because I
Right.
would love for people to read the story
Yes, absolutely.
and find out what happens. It's a beautiful story. It's short, but it's very beautiful. And I feel that parents should read this to their child
Yeah.
slowly so they can understand it and explain it to them. Because at the same time, the adults may start feeling things on themselves like, how should I change? What can I do? How can I pay it forward? And it's a lesson learned. We need to start learning because every single day it becomes very dangerous for us. It becomes very sad. We've lost so many good people around us. And yet we don't take a look at ourselves. What is it that we need to do to change ourselves? What is it that we need to do to change life? How can we help? What can we do? So I thought that this story, me coming from a little boy, is such a beautiful lesson for us.
Yeah.
And I truly enjoyed doing it. I wanted to do a second part, another book as a continuation to know what is Pepe doing. Um, but that should come later. Right now, I would love for people to learn and get to know Pepe,
Yeah. Wonderful.
right?
It's a beautiful story. It's great values, great lessons, great morals for children and adults, like you said, for sure. All wrapped up nicely in this beautiful story in this wonderful book. And have you envisioned this perhaps as a movie?
That would be great
Yeah.
because, like I said before, we need to take a look at what this little boy has done
Hmm.
and maybe put ourselves in it. Like, wow, what would I do if I was in his shoes? What would I do if I was in that situation? Would I react that way or would I turn away? You know, it's a question to ask ourselves.
Absolutely. What would we do in that situation? What would Jesus do in that situation?
Oh,
You know, yeah.
absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. And who's your target audience for this book? Who are you hoping reads it?
I hope that the adults read it,
Yeah.
definitely, and to their children, but basically teenagers. I would
Hmm.
love for the teenagers to read it because our youth is so important. That's our tomorrow.
Right.
Our youth is our tomorrow. And we need our youth to start opening their eyes and listening to what's going on. We need our youth because tomorrow these kids are going to be our presidents, are going to be our Congress, are going to be our government. And I need for them to understand that we need all the help that we can get. This is a beautiful country,
Oh, yeah.
and I love my country.
Yeah.
And I don't want children to grow up thinking that using drugs or fighting is the way of living life.
Right.
It's not. It's not.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
tomorrow's never promised,
Right.
you
No.
know.
This is
So
the land of plenty. It's the land of opportunity. Anything you want to do here is possible. The American
absolutely,
dream is alive and well. We need to stop polluting our children's brains with, hate, with drugs, and with unhealthy foods also.
absolutely.
There's so many things that we have to do to make the next generation stronger. And you're doing your part by showing them such great values and great morals and great lessons in this book. What's the message that you hope that your readers take away from it?
Loving one another, seeing the importance of family values,
Yeah,
respecting one another,
exactly.
and loving yourself.
Yeah,
And I am not here to discuss religion,
right.
but remember that there is a God that's watching you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We will be held accountable someday, so be careful what
Absolutely.
we do. Um,
Mhm.
And we don't have a vengeful God, in my opinion, but I do feel like we have a fair God and that we're put here
Absolutely.
for a purpose, and that is to do what is right for our fellow person, without a doubt. This is a wonderful book, folks, a loving book. You will just adore it, having in your collection for your family. It's called Pepe's Adventure. This touching tale follows the story of 8-year-old Pepe, who sets off on a solo camping trip inspired by the lessons of his beloved G Papa. Along the way, Pepe's journey of faith and connection leads to a connection with nature and a mysterious encounter that changes everything. It's a great book. It's a great story. It's very original, very unique, and lots of great values and lessons in it as well. Olga, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan. And this was such a great opportunity. And I really, really feel so pleased to have met you.
Same here. Very pleased to have met you. Great work on this book. Great work on this interview. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.